Okay, let's go and have a look at my old channel. Okay, Y2J. Okay, there's my old channel. Y2J, 931 subscribers, 148 videos. Okay, so I did a bit of work here before I discontinued this channel, just jazzing up the thumbnails a little bit, but most of the thumbnails on this channel are rubbish thumbnails. They're not nice ones like these ones here. Let's go back and look to the oldest ones. This is the story of how I started. My very first video here, this one here called Homeboys and Punkers. That was a animated short film. Took me about 5 weeks to work on. Grueling, boring amount of work involved with doing that. Moving on to other animated short films, Godzilla vs. Mecha Bin Laden, 1, 2, and 3. And when I say this video has 1 million views, it sort of does cumulatively more than 1 million when you add these up, because these were released in 9 years ago, in 2009, and back then you didn't have back then YouTube videos could only be a maximum of 10 minutes. So these three films here were 3 parts. Put a couple of random Disney ones on there. Got some other ones here. These are all original animated short films, and that's how I started my YouTube channel. But it's very labor intensive doing animation, very labor intensive, and some of them, even back then, you can tell that brand names sell and ones that are not brand names don't sell, so to speak. For example, your Godzilla vs. Mecha Bin Laden here, as I said, being that Godzilla is a recognized brand name, you've got a hell of a lot of traction in terms of views. But these other ones, which took just as much, effort to make, have mostly under 1,000 views. So I moved along and I started doing some random stuff, and started doing, I think it was 2011, started doing wrestling videos. So mainly all of this is WWE wrestling. There's a few other random things in there, and it was mainly done with a nasty webcam on 480p resolution, and some of it was on 720p resolution. And this was the content that I made for probably 3-4 years. These are all wrestling videos, and this is not even all of them. I deleted some of them, and then we get to the ones where I jazzed up the thumbnails a little bit. That is Y2J. After Y2J, I sort of sideways transitioned and I started doing The Snarky Show. The Snarky Show, 248 subscribers. Now, I used to play paintball, and paintball is it's not something I play anymore, not something I'm interested in anymore. But I decided that I wanted to do something that was a bit different, that other people don't do, basically. So again, let's look at the oldest videos. And what this was really a parody show. This was a show making fun of paintballers, because I did play paintball, I enjoyed paintball, but I didn't take it overly seriously. And some people, they take it far too seriously. So the idea was to do something just completely different from what everybody else was doing. So I made a couple of puppets. Well, I didn't make them, I bought them, but I developed their characters. I developed the characters, I developed their personalities, and I really just thought of how can I go against the grain and basically go against what everybody else is saying, but do it in a way that's not creating drama, do it in a way that is funny. And my little puppet show here, it got picked up by a larger show called Behind the Bunker, which was broadcast to, it was an online show, weekly live online show, and it was broadcast to about 5,000 people every Monday night. And a lot of these little shows here, they got put on Behind the Bunker. So I did about 100 of these videos, and again this was all on a 720p webcam, and I put myself in under a mask towards the end of the show as an additional character, and I did this because I knew that I was bringing that show to a close. And this show essentially was thrown away. I mean, it's there just now for historical purposes, and this is something that I really want to sort of hit home here, is that I've basically thrown away 2 YouTube channels so far. I guess you could call it a learning experience, and I don't want to throw away a 3rd one. So, you know, I started dating Coco in it was 2011, and you know, we got married this year, 5 years later, well, about 6 years later, and ever since probably 2012 I was actually making I was shooting video of the trips that we were having to China. And I always thought, I want to do something with this video footage, and I was starting to amass a large quantity of it, and I figured, well, I want to do something with it. And so I made the decision to, okay, let's start a YouTube channel. We'll do a travel vlogging channel, because I'd already thrown away 2 channels before, and I didn't want to, you know, throw away another channel. So I had to think about, well, if I'm going to do something again, what am I likely to stick with? What's going to be a stayer? So I came up with Y2J Does Asia, and so for the first 50 odd videos of this channel, I was really trawling through my library of footage and trying to make some sort of video out of it. Okay, I'll walk you through some of these old videos, because these old videos are very relevant, because they're all a little bit different and there's actually a bit of variety in them. And what I realized is, when I looked at some of the comments on VIDME in reply to my 2-year plan video recently, it occurred to me that some people haven't been watching they haven't seen my older shows here. You know, I mean, it is one of these situations where there's just too damn much content, too friggin' much to go back and look at everything. But let's look at some of these videos. First video, the world's worst sushi and epic fail, Chinese restaurant fails to make hot dog. These were food reviews. So we've got travel vlogging in here, Guangzhou Crocker Park talking parrots, Oriental Pearl TV Tower and Bun Tunnel. And this is really the first video that I would say where you've actually got a brand name in there. Because Oriental Pearl TV Tower is basically a brand name. I mean, it's a place, it's a building, it's a tourist attraction. Those things in of itself generally make it a brand name. Walmart in China, that's a brand name. Wildlife Sydney Zoo, that's a brand name. Although that one hasn't done very well, it's only got 27 views after a year. So a lot of these videos, especially these old ones, have really not taken off at all. We've got what makes my channel special, which is actually an unboxing video, and there's a picture of a puppet here, because I used to use puppets. So let's just have a quick look at this video. We won't play all of it. What did I have to say about puppets on this channel, on this video? And notice that I don't have a tattoo on my arm in this video.
I'm not a ventriloquist. Hey, totally, like, dude, what's happening, man? Whoa, whoa, man, what is this place? What is it? Check it out, whoa. Aussie, crocodile.
Yeah, so that is my early foray into bringing puppets into Y2J Does Asia, and this was one of the things that was discontinued. It was discontinued, but I did do a little bit of it. Here's a video called Dirty Toilets in China with Snarky in it. Snarky is the donkey. And he's rating the toilets
or vermin or any other
based on
animals.
A through D.
Yeah. D toilets you avoid at all costs. It's actually better to find a bush or a tree to go behind in a public area. It's cleaner to do that than to use a D toilet. D toilets are mostly found in rural areas, thank God. Yeah, mostly found in areas.
And I would definitely like to bring these guys back because I really enjoy doing these puppet characters, but they're not always successful. I mean, in terms of views, they're just not always successful. Anyway, let's move along. In these early videos, I really did establish, okay, it's pretty much all puppet shows, food reviews, and travel vlogging. And then I got to this one called Mission Statement and Content Plan. I'm not going to go into that video. Suffice to say that Mission Statement and Content Plan is basically the that is my first content plan video. And this is only about 30 odd videos in, and so this video was really content plan version 1. So this was like, okay, I'm going to do this type of show, this type of show, this type of show, this type of show, and I outlined about 5 different types of shows. Some of them I tried out, some of them I didn't bother with, some of them did get implemented. One of the ones that did get implemented was called Fat Guy Adventure, which is whenever I do an adventure activity, which is basically a variation on the travel vlogging. This one here, Tekapo New Zealand Snow Slide, you know, that was a Fat Guy Adventure. This one here, New Zealand Road Trip to Nelson Part 1, is very special because this is the very first video that I produced, not on a cell phone and not on a camcorder. I produced that one on a GoPro, my GoPro Hero 4 Silver. So that was kind of a milestone for me, just actually getting finally getting a decent camera. Okay, and here is where things start to really get into the land of experimentation and trying different things. You can see here APW Blind Fury Highlights, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. So this is actually a live wrestling show. And what I found was that these videos, they did well on Facebook because they were getting shared on Facebook, just for a few days getting shared on Facebook to the local wrestlers. But in terms of long-term discoverability, nobody's watching these things. I also did a thing called Travel China Guide, which is basically talking about culture in China, and that's basically sitting down in the lounge and just having a chat about it. And that is kind of further experimentation into basically a lecture, an educational lecture style of video, and not all of those videos did well, but some of them did better than others. We've got our random expansion into sports here with how to get into archery. And we've got our first how-to video here, travel tips, travel mistakes to avoid, which unfortunately hasn't done well at all, 33 views after a year. And then again, coming back to brand names, look at this one, Zuda Ultra Cruise Kick Scooter, 1.6k views over a year. And there's very little effort and production that went into that video, but it's a case of, often brand names will get views. They just will. And again here, Zuda Scooter 4km time trial, that's 440 views. Compared to the rest of the views, rest of these old videos, they're only getting 30 views, 20 views, whatever. Not a hell of a lot, honestly. Moving on. Here's a video that's done a little bit better. Snarky Loves Beijing Tiananmen. That's actually a music video, and it combined the puppets. So that's a puppet and a music video. And again with the brand names, look at this, Chimelong International Circus Part 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now these videos are actually dreadful to watch because they are only 480p resolution, upscaled to 720p, they're dark, they're out of focus, they're absolutely dreadful to watch, and they're 4:3 aspect ratio too. They are dreadful to watch. You wouldn't watch more than a minute or two of each one. But I recorded it while we were there watching the show, and I put it online, and this is what I'm talking about with long-term discoverability and search engine optimization, which is going to come up in a future video. I'm going to talk about that in a future video. But you look at some of the other stuff I've done here, like look at this, on random travel vlog thing here, Hooligan in the Avon River, which is literally me just having to walk downtown in the city centre, 20 views over a year. Compared to these ones, Chimelong International Circus, you know, those have had 300 views or 200 views or whatever over a year. So again, and you're going to hear this repeatedly from me, that brand names get views. People respond to brand names. In a vain attempt to try to do some collaborations, I started doing a few video responses. Why I left university, that was a video response, got no traction. Should you do a daily vlog, episode 100, that was also a video response, got no traction. The unfortunate reality is that sometimes other YouTubers, even if they're the same size as you, or slightly bigger, slightly smaller, sometimes they're absolutely not interested at all in what you're doing, and have no desire to shout you out or be involved with what you're doing in any way. So you can see more of the Travel China Guide videos here. Now have a look at this one. I will play this one. This is a very peculiar one. I'll play a bit of it and I'll explain it, what the idea was with this video. Fun for Louie, North Korea, Travel Creator News.
I'm not being paid by the North Korean government.
Welcome to Travel Creator News for the month of August 2016. In our top story, British daily vlogger Louis Cole concluded his surfing and skateboarding trip to North Korea.
Okay, you get the idea there. That is a quasi-news show that is done with puppets. Now the idea there was to create a puppet version essentially of Philip DeFranco. Now if you've never seen Philip DeFranco, he's a YouTuber that basically talks about the news that's going on between other YouTubers, but also the mainstream news and pop culture news. He's a news YouTuber, and the idea there was to create a sort of a satirical puppet version of that. And I put in a huge amount of effort in making that video, because I had to use a green screen for that video. You know, I had to do lighting and set up the puppets and the camera, and it was very hard to edit, incredibly difficult to edit. And after a year, you can see the result: 39 views. So that's why there's only one of those videos. And again, it was trying to capitalize on trending topics, because at the time that I made that video, my favorite travel vlogger, Fun for Louie, had just been to North Korea. And yeah, that's what you call that. That's a perfect example of one of my many failures. So, you know, not everything that you have a go at is going to be successful. In fact, a lot of what you're going to have a go at is going to fail. So moving down here, we can see something that's a little bit more discoverable, a little bit more viewer interest in it. Beijing street food. What does spider taste like? What does scorpion taste like? And snake. This is almost getting into clickbait territory. Not quite clickbait territory, but almost. Moving along, we've got a lot of local content here, and this is where we start to get into how local places can actually become brand names themselves. Right there is Godzilla vs. Mecha Bin Laden, which actually came from my other channel, Y2J, 35,000 views. That's an example of what you call hero content. It's 19 minutes long. It took about 200 hours of work to make. You don't make one of those every day. You really don't. And have a look at this. We've got New Zealand fishing, crayfish, Kaikoura. That one's got almost 700 views over 10 months. That's got 221. Moving down, we've got the Great Wall review. So that was, that's the Great Wall of China. New Zealand caving, cave stream, and how to go through cave stream. 300 views, 200 views. Now this is an example of how a popular search term can essentially have the same effect as a brand name, and this is really what you're talking about in terms of discoverability. Okay, now 300 views and 200 views doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not a lot, but it's a hell of a lot more than only getting 20 views. Now if you create a video that has very little discoverability, like this one, where to buy a Christmas tree and when, or Ohow Point Seal Colony, nobody's really going to search for those videos. There's a very, very small number of people that are ever going to search for it. But if you create something a little bit more searchable, that's just a little bit more popular, then you've got the effect of, like these videos here, the cave stream videos. They're going to slowly become found, and this is how a video can become an asset for you. There's Castle Hill, 261 views. A video, when you put out a video that is something that, even if not a lot of people are going to look for, just at least a few people are going to look for, it actually becomes a discoverable asset. People will actually find it a long time after you have posted it. We've got some absolute abysmal epic fails here. Here is drive time, audience retention 5 views, YouTube saturation 10 views. I was explaining to Mr. November Fox on VIDME that these drive time videos, whilst they did well for me on VIDME, they did extremely poorly on YouTube. And there's not a lot of videos on this channel that I've actually gone and deleted, but these drive time videos are some of the ones that I have. Moving along, we've got a large amount of travel vlog content in here, and I have not shied away from moving into different areas, especially if I think that it is going to be worthwhile, if it's going to get a bit more traction than what I've done in the past. So I started moving into a bit of lifestyle content. Here's a video on laser hair removal. Here's another music video. My cats are on Easy Street. And here's an example again of brand names. GoPro gadgets. What grip handle is the best? The suction cup, the light straps and harness, and the Landpart HHG01 gimbal. Those three videos are almost the same, but you'll notice this one has a lot more views than these ones, and again, that is because of search engine optimization. That's because of discoverability. Moving along, there's a collaboration video, there's a Travel Talk Tuesday. Now Travel Talk Tuesday, I only did about 5 episodes of that. That was basically joining a small network of other video creators that were doing travel vlog content, and they were trying to help each other. It was a bit like a sub for sub thing, really. It wasn't actually sub for sub, but what they were doing was they created this little community, and the idea was to try to inspire each other and to try to support each other, but in reality all that happened was they just want to dump their links on you, and they're not going to really watch your videos at all, and you're not really going to watch their videos at all. That was the end result of that one, so I got the hell out of that group just as quickly as I got in. Moving along, and with the getting better technology, you start experimenting with slightly different styles of photography too. Here You know, we've got a gimbal, a GoPro on a gimbal here, so we've got a hyperlapse in this Meraki Boulders video. Same thing with this Pet Expo video. You know, got a collaboration here with Hamish, and you know, getting a better camera definitely gives you better quality too. So, I mean, at this point, I'm starting to get a little bit of traction here. And again, with the brand names, here we go. Canon EOS M3, how to fix screen and microphone. So it's got a brand name in the title, plus it's also got a useful information on actually how to fix something. So, you know, 219 views on that one. Here's an example of YouTube demonetization. Adpocalypse, death and the universe, what happens when we die. Now, Mr. Joel D made a video on VIDME about this very topic, and I decided to put in my 2 cents on that. And then because it had the word death in the title, that got red flagged by YouTube's algorithm as being not advertiser friendly, and it was demonetized, and it's picked up 10 views, and it hasn't had any new views in probably, I don't know how long, probably since the day I posted it, so probably an entire 3 months. So not only is it demonetized, but it's obviously not being recommended to people either. It's pretty much invisible. In fact, I might as well delete that video. Now here is an example of where we're getting into the really recent videos here. There's another brand name video, DJI Spark Distance Range Test, and again, this is what you call value, where people are looking to get information. If you can provide that information, you're going to get views. So this video was very little production involved in that video, almost none, but it gave people some information they wanted. So it's, you know, it's had 1,500 views. And here's an example of where I was leading to before, where travel vlogging can kind of intersect with travel vlogging can kind of intersect with brand names, because places can essentially become brand names. An example of this would be Punikaiki Pancake Rocks. This is a tourist attraction. That's basically like saying go to the Great Wall of China. It's basically a brand name. Shantytown Greymouth, that's pretty much a brand name. Fox Glacier, this one, that's pretty much a brand name. Cadrona Ski Field, that's definitely a brand name. Queenstown Gondola, yeah, I'd call that a brand name. Queenstown Ice Bar, maybe. Nostalgia Drone Video, no, not that one. Comfort Zone, no, not that one. But a lot of times when you go to places, they can become recognizable as brand names. And here we go with the WWE Live. This is only a month ago now, and you can see that these videos, they have done significantly better than the other videos that I've released around this time. Again, because of a recognizable brand name, the WWE brand name. Okay, now here is a little thing I want to talk about video responses. I'm not going to play the video for you, but you can see where the mouse is hovering right here. RE, finding out I can never run again. You can tell by looking at the other videos that were released around about the time that I released this video, that mostly I'm getting maybe 30 views in a video before people stop watching it. How to over-engineer a garden bed, entire Canterbury Museum. These Pokemon videos have got a bit less than that. Never Squander an Opportunity, 32 views. These ones have got 28. Willowbanks, 32. Excessive Packaging, 26. Trolls Comments, 31. You know, you can see a lot of my videos are getting about 30 views, and I think that is representative pretty much on how many people are really watching my channel. But you suddenly find this one, 158 views, and you have to wonder why is that one different? And I'll tell you why that one's different. So that's a direct video response to Casey Neistat, despite the fact that YouTube does not actually have video responses anymore as a feature. But what you can do is you can kind of indirectly make a video response. Now what I did with that one is I made the video response, and then I took the link and I made a YouTube comment on Casey's video dumped the link into his YouTube comments, and so that 158 views, that is literally his fans finding my video response and deciding to check it out. So that has essentially brought in probably over 100 new viewers into my channel that have watched that video, that would not normally otherwise watch my channel. You know, they would never know my channel exists. And this is kind of the way it used to be about 5 years ago with the video response feature that YouTube had. You could basically video respond to something. If the video response was approved, it would sort of sit on top of the comments. It was almost like an advert for you. And this is one of the ways that YouTube people became big and famous, and kind of piggybacked off of other people's success, and to become bigger themselves. And YouTube just discontinued this. And the only way you can really try to do that now is to do exactly what I did here, and that was basically put the link to your video response into the YouTube comments of the video that you're responding to. But you can see that it's brought in new eyeballs, and in fact after I posted that video I probably got about 5 or 10 new subscribers, and I think it's because of that video, to be honest. And that leads us right up into our most recent videos here. That video there, that's coming out soon. Strawberry Towers, that one hasn't come out yet. Okay, so how can we sum this all up? So you've seen my many failures, you've seen a few of my successes. And the main thing that I really want to kind of hit home with you guys is that brand names seem to be a huge way to get discovered. Now there are really 3 ways that you can become incredibly successful at YouTube videos. They're all difficult. None of them are easy. The first way to become to become highly successful at YouTube video is getting shouted out by a much larger YouTuber. You know, this requires you to have a certain amount of success for yourself, make a fairly good content, and have somebody bigger than you actually notice you, and you know, be willing to put your name out there. Very difficult to get shouted out. Some people are lucky, and you know, oftentimes it comes down to actually personal relationships in real life. Case in point, perfect example, Marlon, Casey Neistat's UPS guy. Let me just see if I can find his channel quickly. So yeah, Marlon Franklin, there it is. So here's an example of how getting shouted out can do wonders for you. Marlon Franklin, 17,025 subscribers. Does he look familiar? He should. He is Casey Neistat's UPS delivery guy. Let's have a look at the videos. So he's got vlog number 25, 26, 25, 24 going backwards there. I tell you what you don't see here, and what you do see and what you don't see. What you do see is somebody that's actually still learning how to do this, and you do see somebody who does not have a very large body of work here. I mean, how many is this? This is it's like 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was 24. So this is actually only 27 videos, if I'm counting correctly. This is only 27 videos, and there are almost no customized thumbnails in here. Let's click on the most recent one and let's have a look at the at some of the analytics.
Hello, I'm Marlon.
Okay, so this little, if you look onto the right side of the screen here, we've got a little tab called Videolytics, and this is actually part of the TubeBuddy plugin here. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video, but basically this is a YouTube plugin that assists you on having a look at the analytics of your video. And you can look at not just your own analytics, but it actually allows you to spy on some of other people's analytics, which is really handy. But when we look at this video, we've got an average percentage watched here of only 28%. So for this video, it's 9 minutes long, people are only watching 1/3 of the video. Another thing that's a bit worrying about this, you look at SEO, search engine optimization, creator suggested only 2 out of 20. So he's put a whole bunch of tags in there. He's put 20 tags in there, which I can't see at the moment, but he's put 20 tags in there and he's only ranking for 2 of them. That's not very good. But going back to his channel, this is an example of what a shout out can do for you. He started up his own channel and bingo bango, out of Casey Neistat's 8 million subscribers, he's got 17,000 subscribers who are watching his channel. This is one way to becoming incredibly successful on YouTube, and this is how you can do it without any talent whatsoever. Another way to become incredibly successful on YouTube is by making viral videos, and it does definitely require a certain amount of skill to make viral videos. Casey actually did a video on how to make viral videos. It's basically on how to the ingredients. It's like a recipe, the ingredients that are involved in viral videos. So when we go back to Casey's videos, again looking at the oldest videos here, he started to make some videos that got a bit of traction as being they ended up becoming viral, and the first big one was this one, Bike Lanes by Casey Neistat. Now if you've seen any of his videos, if you've seen any of his videos where he is up in front of an audience talking about his success, he attributes this movie Bike Lanes as being the breakout thing for him on YouTube. After this Bike Lanes video, it got a hell of a lot of TV coverage and mainstream media coverage, and people were wanting to talk to him about it. And the thing about Casey is he is a clever enough person that he's not a one-hit wonder. That wasn't something that he made once, and and that was it. He made a few other viral videos as well, but basically once you get your first one, that can really help explode your channel. But getting that first one, that can be incredibly difficult, very hard. I would not even say that my Godzilla film was what you'd call viral, because it has amassed a lot of views, but not over a short period of time. A viral video gets views over a short period of time. And the last way that you can become incredibly successful on YouTube, and I will refer to Roberto Blake's channel, and this is basically the guy that I have learned from. Roberto Blake from robertoblake.com. You can see there 264,000 subscribers. This is the guy who taught me and who teaches other people in his videos basically how to be discovered on YouTube through search engine optimization. And he has a whole series of different videos. He does a lot of he has a lot of variety in his videos, just like how I have variety. So he's got motivational videos in here, speaking notes, how to grow as a small YouTuber, YouTube algorithm videos, YouTube advertising, how to make money on YouTube, how to grow your YouTube channel. He's also got other stuff, laptop reviews, Apple and Mac videos, tech reviews, best travel tech, iPhone videos. There's also stuff in here like tutorials on Photoshop and that kind of stuff. There's like advertising and marketing stuff in here. Look at that, content marketing, learn video marketing. This guy's background is in being a graphic designer, and I watched a lot of his videos on learning YouTube SEO, search engine optimization, and this is the way that most people have some kind of a chance in becoming successful on YouTube, is actually by learning how to be discovered in YouTube search, because most of us are not lucky enough to have a video go viral and then have it put on TV like Casey, and most of us are not lucky enough to have a big YouTuber shout us out like Marlon. And the only way that you can really do it is experimentation, learning the skills, and putting in the hard yards. And that is what I've learned mainly from this fellow, Roberto Blake. So I hope this made sense. I hope it wasn't too boring to watch. I will be following this up with another video, and it will be another long form video just like this one, which is going to be on the topic of SEO, search engine optimization, and how to do it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in that video. Bye bye.